Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3 says this: "Commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established." Again, that's commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. Have you ever had that time where you've got all these things that you need to do? And because you've got so many things that you need to do, your mind gets so scrambled. I'm sure that's never happened to any of you students, right? I mean, that doesn't happen to you guys, right? No? Of course. There's always that time when we're just overwhelmed by the tasks at hand. I'm sure the Oleans can have that, say, testimonies about that. Being teachers of the kids, there's so many things to do, especially when a school is still small. There's lots of work to go around to everybody. Same for us in the office. There's sometimes when there's just so many things that you need to do that your mind is just scrambled and you don't even know where to begin. I felt that way a little bit, actually quite a bit this last week when I was at, there's a conference called PABATS, a Philippine Association of Bible and Theological Schools. And of course, one of the main reasons that we gather together is so that we can make sure that the institutions in the Philippines, Bible and theological institutions, are still actually doing something. They're actually existing. And those who come can retain their membership in the group, and those who don't come don't retain their membership in the group unless, they fulfill other things. But so we come together for that, but we also come together to help each other grow in various ways. And just even sitting at the table, I think there was something like 70 some odd delegates. And so there was a lot of people there from a lot of different Bible and theological institutions all around the Philippines. And some are small, like ours, and not accredited yet by the government, though we have PABATS accreditation, which is under the government, but it's separate. It's a religious accreditation, not a secular accreditation. So there's some colleges that are like ours, but some colleges that are really massive with hundreds of students. And not only hundreds of students, but they also have schools that are attached to them. With the one that I was sitting next to, it was from Davao, and for several of the days, and they have over, I think they used to have 400 students in their elementary school through high school. Can you imagine that, 400 students? Yeah, that's a big school. But then they dropped down to 300 during the pandemic, but they still have a lot of students, and they have a lot of students in their theological department as well. And when you sit next to a school like that that's really big, it kind of it makes you feel very small and insignificant, but at the same time it's good because I can learn lots of things from them, how they do things. We can talk together, and I can remember having so many conversations about so many things and so many ways that we can improve the school. Of course, there's always vision going forward. How can we make the school better? How can we improve all of it and make all of it even more of a success? How can we make the Bible College even more of a success? And how can we improve things and be better servants of the Lord in all areas? And sometimes it's just so overwhelming. I actually got a headache as I was talking to one of the doctors, one of the board members. Me and Pastor Jing are also on the board, and one of the other board members, wonderful guy, Dr. Azarkan, and he was talking to me and Pastor Jing and giving us, we were talking about various different things and so many different things, and I started to get a headache because there's just so much. And it's like, grabe, how can I even think about doing anything about all this stuff? And one of the other persons, his wife actually, very wonderful lady as well, Dr. Gloria Azarkan, they're both doctors in theology. And, it's doctors in some field, not medicine doctors. And so she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was saying, everything's just floating in my brain. It's there, but it's just floating in my brain. Do you ever feel like that? When you're so overwhelmed by all your thoughts that it's floating in your brain and you have to wait for it to settle down so that you can do something with it? And I was reading this passage in one of the previous days, and this one has really just stuck out to me. In verse 3, it says, "Commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. And that's the important thing. You know, sometimes our thoughts are all over the place and we don't know how to organize our thoughts. We don't know how to take the next step. We've got all these things, these works we want to do for the Lord. Of course, not for salvation, right? We're not talking about works for salvation. We're talking about works for the Lord. We're Christians. We love the Lord. We want to do things for Him. And sometimes it's all over the place in our minds. We don't even know what the next step is to do. And the Lord said through Solomon in Proverbs, commit your works to the Lord and your thoughts will be established. Take those things that you want to do, go to the Lord in prayer and say, Lord, I don't even know where to begin. Lord, I need your help. I need you to guide me. I need you to lead me. Help me know where to start. Students, for your homework, Lord, help me know which homework to start on first. Kay daghan, di ba? There's so many different homeworks that you could start on. You've got your 5 different classes, and you could be like, oh, which one? And then you end up not starting on anything because you're just like looking around at it. Well, just start on one first of all, one step at a time. But sometimes it requires, and in fact, this should be the first thing we do to settle our hearts, is to go to the Lord, spend time with Him, seek Him, and say, Lord, please guide me and lead me into what you want me to do. And then the Lord will be the one to establish your thoughts and help you think clearly so that you can actually do the things that you want to do. And during the time in Davao, I think it was the last day, just spending time praying and asking the Lord, Lord, please help organize my thoughts because I'm overwhelmed. Help me to understand the next step. Not, I can't do a 7-year plan all overnight, right? But help me understand the next step that you want me to do. For students, just make sure in your daily time is application that there's a time where you really sit down and spend time with the Lord. I remember before, which it's different now, but we used to have class during the day and then I would get home in the afternoon after working. My job was to make hollow blocks, most of the hollow blocks in the kitchen. Me and my friends' hollow blocks, that's why I don't lean on I'm just kidding. But that was our work. After we would get home in the afternoon, then the first thing I do, of course, eat food. That's very important, eat food. And then at 5:30 or so, I would sit down in my room and I would pray for a half an hour, seeking the Lord, asking Him to guide me first before starting my charting, because that's essential. And so, of course, your schedule looks a little different nowadays, but I encourage you, take time to spend time, especially before your homework, praying and seeking the Lord so that the Lord would be able to establish your thoughts, organize your mind so that you're not just frustrated and like banging your head against the desk like, Lord, I don't know where to start. Sakit kayo ng akong ulo. Maybe from the desk, but my head hurts so much from all the things that I need to do. Do you feel that sometimes, Oleans? You feel that sometimes you want to bang your head against the desk? All the time. All the time. For staff, Oleans, take that time during the day really to pray and seek the Lord. I'm sure it's so sometimes frustrating teaching kids, right? I teach, adult students, so not as frustrating, but for kids, I imagine it's very frustrating probably. Take that time really to pray and seek the Lord. Spend time in prayer to really make sure that you know exactly how He wants you to do your work. And same for the staff. Just really take that time, spend that time to really seek the Lord before doing those things of your day. It's good to do that here in groups, but especially also personally by yourself. Just make sure you take your time to commit your works to the Lord. And then the Lord's promise through Solomon is, and your thoughts will be established when you've committed those works to Him. And so that's what I have for you today. I pray that you wouldn't be stressed, but instead that you would give that to the Lord. Amen.